All right, good morning, Aaron. It's always nice when all the settings work. I'm sure I forgot something today. Got the contest ready, got the scanner going, got the other chart up. I feel like I'm missing something. It happens every time. Something's always missing. But anyway, so you guys should be able to hear me. The sound is where it should be. Let me know if it's all is good on your part. Big morning today, obviously, the first Friday of the month. We have non-farm, so lots of stuff going on today. If you look at the 24-hour pip changes, though, you'll notice that they are not earth-shattering. Oh no, there's nothing over 150. Yeah, I mean, pretty common. Again, you see something like non-farm, a lot of people will pause and wait because it is such kind of a big release. It's not as big as it used to be with that ADP number on Wednesdays now. It's not as big as it used to be, but they've held the forecast on this one at 1.3. So, yeah, kind of interesting. Like I said, it feels. I don't know, it kind of feels like it's going to be a disappointment this morning. And again, that may be why we saw some of the moves that we did yesterday, right? I mean, the NQ basically fell through the floor yesterday, right? S&P did the same. And Dow, for the most part, also did. And again, I feel like a lot of that is in anticipation for a disappointment this morning, right? I mean, we saw horrible numbers. And yesterday's numbers, I wouldn't say yesterday's were bad. I mean, unemployment claims being down was great. I mean, that was a decent, 140 down. ISM was exactly what we're supposed to be. I mean, 0.1 is basically the same. It's just a rounding error. So, that's dead on, right? So none of this justifies, again, less people are claiming unemployment. The economy is still growing at a good pace. And again, 0.1 is really nothing, guys. We're not at like 50. It's not going to 49. So really nothing justifies that beyond this anticipation right here. That if this is the ADP non-farm employment change and it came in this low, is that setting us up for major disappointment here? Right? And I feel like that's where the market kind of swing happened from. Okay. So it's kind of like, is it already prepared for it? Like, so if by some crazy chance this one comes in and it's 1375, has ADP lost their ability to predict payroll? Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but that was quite a drop yesterday. Quite a big drop. All right. So, yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I think that's going to be big. Obviously, the CAD employment change numbers are going to matter as well. Ways to play this one today are going to be the CAD yen pair. If we get a chance, I will try to jump over that one early, just so we can check it out. The reason why is because, again, if you're going to play dollar CAD, unfortunately, you're going to have competing factors. You're going to have dollar and CAD play all coming in. If you want a purely Canadian play, again, that would be with CAD yen today. And it is in an area, again, it is driving this morning. I don't know if you guys anybody has looked at it. It is driving up and is hovering right below a supply zone. So it is kind of setting us up more for kind of a short play, right? Although, again, you can see the data is not, they're slightly, but I would say, obviously the employment change, they're not hiring back as much as they did last time. The unemployment rate is coming down slightly, but again, Canada has their own issues at this point. All right, so we'll look at that one only because it is kind of approaching a zone. Obviously not the ideal situation. All right. No, the world didn't end yet. Not yet. But I mean, the world ending, I did hear that The Rock got COVID, The Rock and the whole family. Although I guess he's past it now. I guess it's, he said he has new rules now and he's through the other side. I guess he didn't tell anybody when it was happening. He got it from like a close family friend, but now he's making anybody that comes see him now, which is weird because, again, the reinfection thing, I don't know. But he says anybody that comes and sees his family now has to take a COVID test 24 hours beforehand. So I guess everybody's relying upon the instant results now. I don't know. I think it still takes like a day or two here, but unless you have it and then they do instance. But yeah, he said, if you want to come visit me and my family, you need to take a COVID test 24 hours before you come visit us. And otherwise, don't come. I was like, wow. Yeah, but him and his family. But yeah, and the world didn't end. Look at that. Even The Rock got it and the world didn't end. So, besides that, obviously the stories this morning, a lot of it is just, they're likely to add 1.2 million in August, economists say. Now, they're likely, but they were also likely on Wednesday to say that they added that many. So I don't know, right? Sanders, the economy and COVID-19, or Saunders, again, that's fine. ECB is on track to add more stimulus as the recovery sputters. Yeah, I mean, that's given a lot of kind of uncertainty for lack of anything else. I mean, again, stimulus is good for the overall economy, but it's provided a little bit of a jolt, but nothing really too crazy in that one, right? So that's nice. UK construction sector slow is not a big deal. I love this. Non-farm will be artificially boosted by the hiring of temporary census workers. Okay, great. Will it be what they expect it is, though? Like, I love these things like they do this, right? It makes it's U.S. non-payroll report from August is expected. Okay, great. But like, I don't know. Places like Zero Hedge have some interesting articles sometimes, but other times it's kind of like, yeah, but everybody knew that when they did the forecast. So like, you're not the only person that knows that, and they typically account for that. So yeah, good article. What else we got here? Risk aversion ahead of non-farm payrolls. I love this. After profit taking hits Wall Street. Yeah, that's one way to put it, right? This is interesting too. Trump or Biden, who's best for the U.S. dollar? It's actually interesting because this is very interesting, and it's interesting that it's in a .ca, right? Look at this about the odds narrowing on a Donald Trump win, right? Biden is not an economist by any stretch of the imagination. He will not be good for the economy. He doesn't care about the economy, and his party is very anti-Wall Street, which, again, not really good for the dollar. And, again, he's not going to really direct that. Now, Trump has wanted a weak dollar for a while, but then we'll swap back to a strong dollar because of kind of the bravado of, strong, U.S. and things like that. Obviously, some of the people in his circle are very big into King Dollar. But again, he's more kind of stock market based, not necessarily dollar based. So I don't know. I mean, he's obviously had some issues with the Fed back and forth. And, at this point, the Fed kind of does their own thing. So I wouldn't say Trump has sway over the Fed, and Biden definitely won't. He definitely won't have sway. So it's kind of an interesting article trying to get people to, I'm not going to say that it's clickbait, but, again, strategy of JP Morgan. But I mean, first off, what does JP Morgan know about the election, right? Because they didn't pick anything last time. They were not, they were not in that trade that before. Yeah, it just, I don't know, kind of a weird article. But besides that, we got nothing really. There's nothing earth-shattering here besides opinion articles, right? This one aims at, a bear, a bullish breakout, but bear is still in play. Yeah, that makes sense. And look what they're drawing. Do you guys see what they're drawing? It's a video, so I'm not going to click on it. But do you guys see what they're drawing in here? I don't know if you can see it. Remember we talked about the channels? They're drawing channels. I love when people do that. Yeah, they were like, I'm sure they were waiting to go long too when it broke the top side of that channel. But yeah, they're drawing channels on that thing. Yeah, and they're gonna want to trade this one today, right? With all this stuff going on. But anyway, no real news. 29. Actually, I guess the dollar yen is the leader over here with the pound. They're kind of splitting duties here with minus 31, minus 32. But for the most part, everything is flat. Again, you're seeing chop back and forth. It's all for non-farm today. So not really much that we can see there. Now, in the last 4 hours, again, it looks very similar to what we saw yesterday. The pound, for the most part, except versus the Aussie and Swiss, is negative, right? We're seeing that Aussie is pretty much negative, right? Except it's positive versus the yen and the dollar. And again, kind of expected with non-farm coming in. CAD is showing strength. Okay, this is one of those ones that it looks mixed, but you'll notice that the CAD in the first pair is in the top two, and then all down here again in the second one, right? So again, great CAD stuff, and everybody's preparing for great CAD. So that's about the only clean thing. Euro, again, also mixed, very similar to the pound as well. Now, one thing I will note in here is you will see the euro pound up here, meaning that, again, it is finally getting a leg up. So I would say, probably weakest. Aussie is probably, let's see here. Aussie is probably the weakest because, again, you can see pound Aussie, but again, in the 4 hour, it's uptrend setup, meaning it is pulling back on the lower time frames. So Aussie is probably the weakest. It's probably a battle between these two. They're very, very close right at this point. CAD is probably the strongest right now. Across the board, CAD is definitely the big pusher of the evening. Dollar as well. Dollar is kind of mixed. Again, you see versus the Swiss and the yen, obviously we are higher. But you'll notice versus the CAD we're weaker, versus the pound we're weaker, and versus again, this is strong dollar, right? Strong dollar versus the pound, strong dollar here. But again, I wouldn't say it's necessarily the strongest. CAD takes that. So it's probably CAD, dollar, probably euro, and then pound, and then Aussie as far as the strength rating goes for this morning. Most of these will get mixed up, though, in about 15 minutes for non-farm. Okay, so let's go over now and let's jump into charts. We don't want to take too much time away. Let's first actually jump over to CAD yen because that's an interesting situation. And as you can see, again, we talked about CAD strength all morning. We are approaching a level, and again, you guys can see here on the hourly, there was this zone down here that CAD did bounce off of. It's not where we're at now. We got to, we can see the zone on the 30-minute. It's not the cleanest of zones, right? Because it disappears completely, and it's like, what is this big red spike here? It's not the ideal area for us to be able to take a short trade off of. That area right here, kind of where this spike happened, is a much cleaner area, but it doesn't mean that it still can't go off of this spike, okay? I actually don't like that spike. I like the reaction off of it. I think it's a great reaction. I mean, a huge collapse in the market, in this one. But the zone here is just, it's only 11, so I can't say that it's, it's like, oh my God, it's like 34. No, it's nothing like that. I mean, and here's your risk to reward wise. It is in the 1 to 3 is in a fine place. It's not big. It's kind of right at that area. It's having some issues going through. And again, it's what we like. We like to see it rally up. Typically, the 30 minutes beforehand is really where we want to see that. And dropping onto a 5-minute, you can see that we got 15 minutes and it's already starting to push back down again, which, again, that typically, I don't know, a lot of times that's indicative of it going higher, okay? I would have liked this on the 5-minute. If we were just like here, I think that would have been better. We're only about 10 pips, so it still has the ability to kind of bump up to there first. And this could be a case with news coming out where it jumps up. News comes out, it jumps up, and then goes poof, and just rolls, right? And again, that would be on some of the red numbers on with CAD. All right, but if you're looking to get into a little bit early, it's driving up. It's trying its best here on the 5 minutes, but it's still kind of stuck sideways. I wouldn't say it's actually sitting in a zone, which is what we like, especially for something this big. So again, I think again, any type of a pop up, I think. Oops, not that one. Delete all arrows. I don't know what that was. 81.22, I think, is kind of where I'd like to short at. I'd like for this to roll over. Again, this was that parabolic move to the downside, tagged an hourly level, and is now grind almost all the way back. If you are still in this long, now is definitely the time to be out. You definitely don't want to give up all this profit. I mean, you don't want to give up, 40 pips of profit trying to tag this one when you're basically at the start of the move anyway. Okay, so be very, very cautious with that. Let's jump across and see some of the other ones that will affect us. Aussie dollar. So again, here's that position that we drew before. We talked about we'd like to see a confirmation bounce. Well, guess what, guys? We got the confirmation bounce. It just hit over here. Okay, I wanted this to hit, bounce, pull back, and go. We pulled back here, and went. And again, you got an enter here, enter here. Either of those two would have worked out just fine, okay? Where we are now, I'm going to bring this a little bit higher. And here's the problem with this one. Non-farm is a very, very big release, right? Non-farm is a very big release. So on a 4-hour basis, we're kind of jammed in on this one between top and bottom. Okay, the bottom side, the 4-hour zone here is really not the nicest of zones. I don't really love it. It's formed with this big area here. Unfortunately, even on an hourly basis, there's not really the best of areas to grab. Okay, now there is this level here, and again, that's a level that we just kind of bounced off of to the downside. That would have kicked in a few hours ago, so a little bit harder to grab, but that could be a level that if we come up, we can get a reaction, kind of a pop, a failure to go higher, kind of tagging it. Again, this, but over here. Right, and that could take a short, and I think we're okay on this one to come down to probably this level down here, the 72.20. As I said, this big box here is the 4-hour zone, but the way that it is drawn, I mean, there are some orders probably sitting here, but that's about it. Okay, Aussie yen, kind of the same situation. Aussie yen has this, but we're going to move it to here. Kind of in the middle of range, not going to work for us here. And I'll come back and analyze this one. I just want to kind of go through the pairs with the dollar in it. As you can see, the pound is basically flatlined. It is stuck. I do like this zone down here. I do think levels coming in. This is an hourly as well as a 4-hour zone. I think if we can get a spike, and again, this would be a spike of about 60. It's a pretty nice spike. But either way, again, being in the middle, 133.52, 131.94, either of those two would be fine. And again, here's that confirmation bounce drawing again, which would work. This one's not anywhere close either. I was hoping this one would be a bit closer. This yellow zone, again, we'll leave it on here for our drawings for after the news. But again, this is not a zone you want to be playing with non-farm. We can literally blow right through this one. Dollar CAD, let's see what we got. Dollar CAD, we had the completion of this from before. Almost to the T. Let's take... Oh, hold on. What did I erase? Yeah, we can take care of that now. It's fine. Let's get these off to clean these charts up. As you guys can see, we had a short position here. This was one that we had, 10 pips risk on. It floored its way in, ended up going to the higher one, and that's where the short came in. So, again, we were looking for a short entry. Unfortunately, we chose the aggressive target, and it was the conservative. There was the conservative entry. You guys can see that it came back down, tag, and ended up going all the way back down to the 1 to 5. So, we had the right call. We just had the wrong zone. Again, we took the aggressive, not the conservative. I think we do have to mark off that zone again. That is a valid place for us to move. It's about 57 pips away. Again, that's a big non-farm miss. And again, it would have to be ideal for both, right? For us to kind of trigger that one. Right now, I'm thinking there's our top and bottom. Yeah, there's a 4 hour. There's a 4 hour sitting right there. Why are they all sitting in the middle? There is a small zone here. Okay, so I guess we do have this that we just kind of went off of. We didn't actually touch it, though. I would be a bit cautious with that one. I do think that... Yeah. How big of a miss can we get on this one? Let's see. It's about 14 pips down. It can move 14 pips in the next 10 minutes. This would have been a target for a short. All right. This is more of a short than a kind of an entry. This is a profit target more than an entry. But I will say that, again, trying to get this, inside of a more boxed range, there's probably an area there. So in this kind of new formed sideways channel, I would say that it's more than likely to go up here. Right. But I'd be looking for shorts, again, ideally, if you could time this around 10 o'clock. If we can get some news that gives us some dollar strength and brings us up to here in a spike like this, 31.32 is a nice kind of reversal, 10 o'clock today to roll back over and down. And again, that would go with what we're seeing, right? CAD strength, right? All of a sudden we get dollar news that's emotional that we pop up. 10 o'clock, we roll over and we go and continue back with the CAD strength. So that's a possible setup for today. Dollar Swiss, you can see we didn't get in. Again, I'm going to go through these a little bit better. This one, this is just horrible. How much room do we have to run? 26. There's a potential short in there. I do like, obviously, the upper zone better, upper or lower. I think either of those two gives us the best opportunities, but we're sitting, we're literally right in the middle of the channel. It's hard. These guys are going to be all over the place. And again, these are going to be news driven. Gold, are we in an area? No, gold's not, silver's not. And then CAD yen, here's that CAD yen play. So, all right. So that was all the pairs in 10 minutes. So now we can go back and really spend time on the individual pairs and we'll see what we got. All right. So let's go back and Aussie dollar. We kind of talked about what we see on this one. And again, I think top and bottom, this one has already moved a bit too much for that, but it could be a potential for later. Like I said, anything that has a dollar in is going to have an emotional reaction to non-farm, but there are 10 o'clock trades in here that we could take, right? So something along this line could be a potential for later, right? And again, until we see the movement with the open, we don't know. But that could be a potential trade for later. I think looking into the weekend, again, if we can get a burst up or down, either way, I'd be kind of happy with this one. I'd like to go into the weekend down here at 72.20. I think this would be a great place to get long. And again, this week has been kind of an Aussie negative week. There's should be some type of a pullback. And again, just so we can draw it, here you go, guys. There is, look, how many touches do I need to do? 1, 2, almost 3, 4, 5, 6, right? What do we need to do? Oh my God, we need to go long. We need to go long. And people are like, yeah, I knew it, right? And then boom, it pulls her right back into the zone again. So, yeah. Oops, no, I don't want to delete all that. I'll leave that there. And that can go. All right. Up there, 73.33. All right, so again, bracket this one off 73.33, 72.20 on the downside. Aussie yen. All right, so Aussie yen, the last place we have any decent movement. Again, this zone here was original zone that we kind of bounced off of and then bounced the bottom, and then we kind of formed the new top, and we need to do a little bit of an adjustment for this one. Again, this was a nice push off. So there is a decent trade setup sitting in this area right here. Okay. And again, I'm going to turn this not green because that's what it was before. We're going to turn it into a white as a watch zone. Okay. And again, you can see a little bit of basing, not the cleanest of entries, but it is still coinciding with what we saw here, the bounce, the bounce, the bounce. So it's kind of in part of a larger area of emphasis there. So let's see. I do like the response that we've had off of this zone. So I think this is one we definitely need to keep on our radar as well, along off of 76.95. Decent zone. The last time we touched it, we also took a decent bounce and rode that one up about 50 pips. So it's definitely in the wheelhouse for the day. I see this one. I definitely think it can come down. I hate this drawing. I like it when the red is the deeper one and then the green shows that it's moving out, not the other way around. So there is probably a small area there's a small area sitting there, but not as worried about it. And again, I wouldn't be using this to touch off the hourly. So I think this is the best one would be look at the hourly, use this push right here as kind of an additional entry. And again, because it is counter trend, if you don't want to try to snipe this one at the bottom, again, grab the bounce. Again, wait for the bounce, wait for the pop, wait for the touch again, and then take it on the other side out. The same drawing that we have, where is it? Right here. Same idea, right? Wait for the touch, wait for the pullback, and then go. And again, this one touched, pulled back, and then went. You guys see how we went off of that zone? Same thing, okay? For this one. But down here at 67.95. All right. Top side as well. I'll move this down. I don't need this one anymore. That was completed. Let's put this one right here at 76 over here. Oops. Interestingly enough, guys, look at this. I'll move this across. You guys see where this one ran into? Problems at? Same spot. And actually, should be, there's the red candle. Right? Isn't that funny? Boom. It touched. It blew through. It came back up and then rolled at the same spot. But we don't need it now. We're going to clear that one for non-farm. All right, we're good. So let's look at euro. So this one, talk about ultimate choppy. I mean, we talked about before we were in a zone, and again, you can see takeoff point, bottom, rode the top, came back down, rode the top, bottom, bottom, bottom. So it's kind of one of those levels that it's just been sucked in. What can we trade with it now? Unfortunately, this is not actually where the zone is. I would draw the zone here, and we mentioned this yesterday, that's kind of where the top side of the channel is. It has hit it a few different times. I would say that it does feel like it's more set up for a bearish day today, kind of a rollover down. Unfortunately, the consolidation is real in this one. Again, we got a bunch of small levels down here on the hourly. 4-hour wise, again, you can kind of see what we're smacking into. This big dark green level right here. And again, kind of a funky level because this push down was touch number 1 and went pretty deep, and push number 2 went pretty deep as well. So it's honestly not the cleanest of levels. I'd kind of like it to clear up a little bit. I would like it to roll over, and I mean, in reality, I'd like this thing to get some big yen weakness and just kind of grind through these levels and clear all this junk. Like, get all this stuff out of here so the analysis is easy again. It's just getting a little bit busy in the hourly right now. And again, we have good levels up top. But right now, it's just there's a lot of junk, kind of small levels in here where it spiked down and spiked up, spiked down and spiked up, based and then launched. So that's why we have a lot of this stuff here. I'd like this to get clean, get back down to the 124.35 before next week. Now, there is an interesting level here on the 4-hour right here. I don't know if you guys can see this dotted line. I like the way that this bounced. Let me show you guys this real quick because, again, we talk about a lot of junk in here and we know there's levels lower. But look at this. I love the way this dropped in here. Pulled back up, went down, and then failed. It came higher, and then it went right off that same level and went higher, and that was kind of the stabilization point. So, although we do have kind of a little level in this mixture that's been touched, 1, 2, I mean, we're kind of going for 3. This is a clean level, all right? This level down here at 24.62 is, and again, this doesn't work this way. I can't really, but this guy right here is a level that I'd watch out for. I think that's a clean level going into next week. It's not going to hit it today. Put it this way, it would take a lot for us to hit it today. But that's a clean level that we want to make sure that when price finally gets down here, the way that this formed, we want to take a long off that one. All right. Now, pound yen. All right. So, pound yen. All right. So, we had that Harry Potter. We never got our entry. It ended up chopping through. So, again, I'll remove that so we don't confuse people. Again, it would have been nice, but, and there is the level you guys can see what we're bouncing off of. We were unable to get that because, again, the way that the entry, we never had a breakthrough, a basing, and a pullback. It just chopped through the level, which, again, is not an entry. Since that time, again, we had a punch down. So you can see in the early morning, again, we have this one sitting up top, and we're going to hold that one up here at 41. But you can see there's a new level that was put in. And at this point, we are, gear out this position. I'll just do it this way. Right there, you guys can see that we're out of that one already. That one triggered super early, like European Open, right? Yeah, 4 o'clock in the morning. And again, great zone. Great zone. I mean, that formed yesterday at 5 o'clock in the morning. You guys can see a test off our 10 o'clock. Again, here's that 10 o'clock reversal. U.S. Open, pushed up, grabbed the level, 10 o'clock, and then boom, collapsed. Okay, this was a great trade for yesterday. Okay, it was after we were on, so obviously it's not drawn. But again, same level. So there's one, there's two, nice pushback. Would I use it a third time? Maybe, but again, this is a level. It's based off a 30-minute time frame. It will probably, I don't know, it may reset over the weekend. But it's, for right now, it's decent. We've had one touch, blast down, 2 touches, blast down. At this point, as far as another entry, I would say the next place I'm looking for any longs would be probably down here. Again, we got a bit of room to run. We got about 80 pips. So don't know if we're going to get 80 to the downside, especially since we've already seen 65 to the down since the European session started. Doing 260s or 280s in a row is a lot, especially on a Friday. But I do think that that's a good area. So right now, 41.81, 40.13 are both good levels. And again, 41.36 is, again, where that entry has happened twice. Again, this should have been what you guys hit yesterday morning. And again, this was the, when I talk about times that we need to look out for, right? The best times to trade. Oops. This is at 10 o'clock in the morning. Again, the time that I tell you guys is the best time to trade. And here was the European Open. So to say that the openings are not the best time is very, very hard. It'd be very, very hard to say that, oh, no, those are not the best times to trade. Because again, they consistently hit again and again and again. All right, so it looks like, let's see, is the number out yet? Let's drag this in. We'll put us over here on the pound dollar and see what the reaction is. We'll drop it down to a 30-minute, see if we can get a, maybe an exaggerated response, see if it looks good. Look at it. It's sitting at the bottom right here. It's more set for a long right now, but it's not going to make any difference. These are all very, very small levels. We have this little profit target. Yeah, this was a small profit target. I can't even change it. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see. Let's pull this in. Let's go here. Let's see what we got as far as, whoops. Ooh, that hurts for CAD. So there, remember I talked about that spike that could send us up on dollar CAD? That can do it. Ooh, 8.4. That is an awesome number, 8.4. 0.4 is good. Let's see what the non-farm number is. Okay, look at that. So that's a big question because this one, again, almost dead on. Great drop here, 8.4. This is nice. Average earnings are up. CAD got blasted. So this is one of those cases where, yeah, you're going to have some movement. So my question now is, has ADP lost their ability to forecast? Okay. ADP used to have, where is it? ADP used to have kind of the lock on the market, right? It had the lock on the market because they do like 3 out of every 4 paychecks, right? Have they lost their ability to forecast now? Because again, this is pretty dead on there. So that's good. So let's go check this out. So, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. We don't have the reaction yet off of this one, but it's coming. Again, this will go higher. Let's see. Yeah, this is still continuing. People are trying to short this one, so it's going up. This is probably a valid short for later today. As soon as this one rolls. Let's see here on the 5-minute. Yeah, people are trying to get short. That's why the price is going higher. But yeah, this is gonna turn and roll because those are horrible CAD numbers. Horrible CAD numbers. Go up and touch the yellow. That's what we want is yellow. Dollar CAD. Let's see. Let's drop this down. There we go. So yeah, this one's looking for levels too. And again, right now, this is all the emotion of people going, "Oh my God, it was horrible! Quick!" It's everybody. So what everybody's doing right now is they see that US was good, CAD was bad. So everybody and their brother right now is trying to buy this pair for it to go up today. Unfortunately, this is what happens. When everybody's trying to buy it, the market will continue to force it down so they get it cheaper, right? So everybody that bought it here, they're like, oh my God, the news is great, buy it. It's going back to like, oh my God, why am I losing money? And eventually it'll get to the point where they're like, oh God, I got to get out, right? We are in that level now, that red level though. So this could be one of the potentials. It would have been better if it spiked all the way down to 130.46. So we're kind of rooting for this one to come all the way down. Because everybody that buys right now from the news, when it gets down to here, they're like, I can't take anymore. I'm losing too much. And that's where we'll see the big push in this one. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. So I would say today with all green numbers, right, this should bounce. Okay. If we do not get a bounce in this one, I don't know what people are watching. These are all good numbers right now, right? And you can see on this is up, this is up, this is up. So let's go through the rest of these. Euro pound. So euro pound, yeah, we'll get a move in that one. Euro pound, I would not be using this level. I think for any type of euro pound positions, we need to get up into this range right here, 89.54 or 89.55. I actually like this one a lot for an opening on Sunday. We are close enough. We can get enough of a chop. If this is our impulse move and this is our correction, we could get another drive forward, and I would really love for this one. It's only about 30 pips. We can cover that in the next 6-8 hours. That would be a great level to take shorts out of going into Sunday night. And again, that's kind of the aggressive entry from the white zone, but I think that's pretty good. So for me right now, I'm looking top or bottom. There's obviously a buying level here that it pulled back into to go long. But, not the best, right? I'm looking for top or bottom. This little piece right here, not interested in taking that one, right? Not interested in taking that. I want to go higher low. Okay, so euro dollar, as you can see, obviously there's a lot of chop back and forth. Dropping it down to a 30-minute. And again, this one has been more or less flat. This should be good today, and this is going to be more of a media play. We're talking about how Europe is going to get provided more stimulus, which will eventually hurt that currency. Yes, all the news today was great for the dollar. And again, once the U.S. retail trader comes online at 9:30 and sees all this data, that's going to be where a lot more of this kind of punch comes from. Okay. Now, I would be cautious in right now. There's not like a clean level. It's not like we can say, "Hey, listen, that's it. This is the top." Right? This is the top. It's a level, but unfortunately, it's been hit a few different times. Okay, not the ideal place to kind of get this one short. In this case, because we didn't get kind of the emotional push up to the yellow, we may have to be looking for something on a much smaller time frame. And again, you guys can see there's the reaction. It's one candle. It's 28 pips top and bottom. It is going to roll, and again, when the sooner U.S. traders get online, the faster this will come in. Man, I can't even grab. Yeah, so you're starting to see it really start to move now. Man, I wish this would have gave us that bunt, the push up. There's a short in this one today. Again, for those of you that are more on, not necessarily the spot side, that are on the option side, again, there's probably the premium has probably been sucked out now. There's probably a 2 hour in here, whether it be the 8 to 10 or the 9 to 11 to the downside on this. I do think profit targets need to be taken before this level. I think that's a safe level. Again, it has been tested, and as you can see, there's a 30-minute here as well as an hourly right below it. The hourly level is sitting right down here. Okay, so I think both those two, again, that's about a 40-pip mover. Again, it's probably the retrace that's worthwhile today. We'd marked off earlier in the week the 117.78 would be where we want to get out at. And again, if you want to try to ride it longer, then sure. But again, do not hold this one over the weekend. This is not one of the ones that you want to do that over the weekend. But again, short today is probably the play. Dollar CAD, again, you guys are seeing right there. There's the bounce off that yellow area. And again, we wanted that to come down just a bit farther. At this point, it probably may already actually be done. Nope. Oh, there we go. Yep, it's right there. Okay, so again, there was your play off of that one. And what did we say in dollar CAD? It kept going down, 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 down. Why? Because everybody thought it was going to go long. It's like, I got to get out. I got to get out. I got to get in this one. Got to get in. But they need to stop out all those people so it can get punched higher, right? And you guys can see there is the play, right? And again, it just went above the 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. I think it definitely has more room to run today. Again, I think it's going to retrace all the way back up by the end of today. But again, there's your non-farm trade. Right? There's your non-farm trade. Down, 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 down into that zone. And again, finding those buyers. Everybody that was buying because of news got stopped out, right? Because this thing dropped 16 pips and they were like, holy crap. And then boom, it goes long. So again, there is your trade of the day for that. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, again, we're not going to get the short today on this one. No, not that one. I want the numbers. There we go. I'm going to leave this here just so we have it for later, for next week. Dollar should, again, it should go higher today unless we start poking at China, and then that will matter. Again, here's an aggressive level, and, maybe at 10 o'clock this will be worth a rollover today. But again, I still think either of these two levels, if we're unable to reach them, I think both of them are great Sunday night targets. The 91.32, 91.49, either of those would be great entries if we gap into them on Sunday. Especially after today, like I said, all this green data should be good for the U.S. dollar because, again, it's showing us that we are recovering, getting back to where things are faster than expected, right? But again, all that emotional kind of that positive highs will probably flip. So again, gap into either of these two on Sunday night, we're taking them short. Here's a spike up and we were close. Yeah. Now, see, remember, dollar yen is a pair that is directly affected by not only U.S. news, but also the indices. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit different of a play. Again, we were hoping that we could get a push up into there at 10. It's probably going to reverse and go, kind of go sideways on us. I don't see as much in here. I don't see as much movement with this one today based off of this news. Again, because this is basically U.S. indices versus the U.S. dollar. This was all good, so it's kind of hard to say that we're going to have really kind of weakness on either of these two sides. So again, I think the 106.45 is probably a decent level. Again, if we can get up there, maybe at 10, again, that will give us a reversal, but we're pulling back. We're already 12 pips down on that one. Right now, again, this is kind of a wait and hold. We're still at that 106.90, 105.35. And again, this is a small intraday level we can take. This is actually not the bottom. Again, we've mentioned this before, that there's the actual bottom for that one. So you could have been long as of yesterday. And again, this is a push up, a base, and then a punch higher. And again, kind of front run here and tagged, pushed, tagged, and then went. And you've already surpassed the 3-to-1 at this point on this one as well. All right. NQ. So what do we have for the NQ today? So we had this little level that we mentioned yesterday, and we mentioned that, hey, listen, it's already been punched through or got front run, that this would be more or less a target level, that it could potentially roll through it, or could potentially be the bounce level. But again, that should be a target on any of the shorts up top. Okay. I don't know that I would quite say that this is a justified move. Now, again, you guys can see it did hit that level and did bounce back up again. We can see it here, right? I don't know that I would say that it's justified. All right. I don't think necessarily everything is bad with this one. You guys can see there was a little gap play right here too. I didn't even see this one. Right there. Didn't even check that one. You could draw it up there. It's fine. Didn't even check that short, right? And that was coming in, about 2-3 hours ago. So right now, for purely economic purposes, this should go up today. It should be. At this point, I feel like the article earlier talking about how there was a lot of profit taking, I think, again, yes, that is probably what happened. There was nothing on an economic basis. Wednesday's number sucked, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Wednesday's number sucked, the ADP number, okay? I will say that number missing that bad and this number being almost exactly at forecast does put more power back into just the standard non-farm employment change number versus the ADP number. Okay, so that's not necessarily a bad thing because the ADP number was kind of stealing its thunder for a while. This gives us a little bit more accurate of a reading. Okay, unemployment at 8.4. That's a heck of a drop. That's almost 2 percentage points to the downside. That is getting us back on pace for kind of election time to be not very far from where we were, right? Pre-COVID, which would be kind of a great thing. Average earnings up, good as well. I mean, that's all positive news. I'm trying to think, how are they going to spin this today? What are they going to say? Let me see. Hold on real quick. Gravitating is going to pandemic. No, there's nothing out yet. They're just talking about the unemployment situation. Yeah, they're just giving the actual number. Man, I'm trying to figure out what they're. I mean, again, there's a lot of profit taken here. Again, this would be one of those areas where this could be a bottom today, right? I mean, we're sitting right here at this 4-hour zone. Is there a parabolic move in here? Yeah. I mean, do we have? Again, here is the punch down, right? We got that. We have the punch up. We have the punch down. Is this next? Right? Off that 4-hour level. And again, it is a standard parabolic retracement move. Any of you that have the PR class, you know that this is what it looks like. Again, this is on a 4-hour, this is a very large candle. This is the biggest candle we have on the entire chart. Obviously a very emotional move. Right into a 4-hour level that has been tested. We now have the touch, the retrace, the pullback. Is this, up, in that realm? And again, this stop entry short obviously is, the trade that this again, intraday level, right? It's a gap play. There was your gap down, there was your touch, and there was your fall right back down to the 3-to-1. So I'm going to delete that now because we can take that off. But again, there was your overnight play there. But there is your. I would say that this is something we have to look at, right? Again, 9:30 is ideally when you'd like to get into this because, again, you want to kind of get that initial reaction. But I really don't see any reason why this wouldn't happen. Again, on a fundamental basis, this makes sense. On a technical basis, this also makes sense. You went from extremely high in the curve back down to a level on a 4-hour, which tends to be, these 4 hours are great currency levels. They're not as powerful in NQ or in the indices. But again, that's, decent move to the top side. 30-minute here. Let's see what we got. So same thing. We had that level. This one didn't even pause, just blew through it. And again, that was kind of a short from that level we talked about. And again, there was that kind of touch, right? The hit, the pullback, and the drop. There was your target at 35.42. So we'll just delete that to get some of these things off. That's fine. Let's move this. Did this one have the short this morning too? No, this one didn't have the same. I guess it did, yeah. But it didn't go all the way back down. This one kind of had the same touch and then kind of roll over. It's interesting enough. It's funny. Here's the, you guys can see I'm down on a 15-minute, which is pretty low for me. But you guys can see there was the rollover, right? Not the cleanest of touches, but there was the piece. Let's see. Let's bring this up to a 4-hour. So this one is also kind of flirting with this level right here on a 4-hour basis. Very similar position. I would say, yes, it has kind of had the same type of a pullback. And again, it's decent, right? There was your touch. There's your pullback. It's more this. It's more drawn on this side where, again, came down. Not the sharpest, though. There's your rally back out. I guess you could have done it here. Here, let me shrink this back down into this level right there. And again, that's where the basing dropped, based, and then punched out. You could say that there's your push. There's your retouch. And there's your push higher, right? So again, similar setup, retracing this big, gigantic move yesterday. And again, it is Friday, so it would be a day that we'd have a, kind of a bullish position. The question is, can we get over the hurdle right where this is? But again, I would say that there's really no reason why this shouldn't be moving higher. Economy is coming back. They said they were not changing rates, so nothing has changed except more people are. As many people got new jobs, unemployment rate is coming down, and earnings are getting higher. These are all great things. Okay, these are all great things. So we'll see if that keeps moving. The Dow. Also, you're seeing a pop. Now, this one also had that same gap and same kind of push down. Not the same, the same bit of retracement. Let's clear some of this. Pull this. Let's go back down to the hourly. You can see that we had this right here. All right, from the top. There's your touch. There's your touch. Let's see. What are we going to do with this guy? Whoops, what did I delete up top? Oh, it's fine. I can delete that. No, actually, you know what? I do want to keep that. I'm going to have to delete this here. I guess actually we can remove those. That's fine. There we go. That's what I really wanted to get rid of. All right. So, there's not much stop in this. Let me see on a 30-minute. There's not much stop in this in here to the top side. If we're able to break through these highs, and again, this is an area that many people are going to be looking at. It's like, oh, look, that's the previous overnight high. Let's see. Can we break the Globex high? Go, 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 go. If we can get higher, I do think areas up top. And again, we do have this punch forward that we were looking for before. right? We were looking for this. I'll remove it now just, so we can keep the charts kind of fluid. But again, a break above this, this level here at 29,190, I think is good. One way to play this may be kind of this right here. If you're looking to get long, again, ideally when it punched down, that's where you wanted to kind of look long. This may be the way to do it. Wait for kind of a continuation to the top side and see if we can get a punch through, right? Again, there will be a pullback as everybody comes in. There will be pullbacks as, again, the ebbs and flow, the impulse correction move. That may be the best way to play this one. There is a little bit of drama here. We could probably see it on the 15-minute. No, we can't. Oops. Yeah, you can kind of see it over here. There's this little mini level kind of sitting right here. But again, I'm down on 5-minute, so it's not as big of an issue. Yeah, you can see it right over here. But again, that's past your 1 to 3. So I think, if you're looking for a decent long today, I think that would be, I think that would be kind of a decent spot. Okay. Again, looking for a punch through, because again, we need to make sure we can clear this. Right, and when it punches through, people will be looking for this as a support and resistance line. They're going to look to get long, and again, the goal is to trap them. When they go through and it pulls back, they'll be getting out. Then you be the person that goes long and takes it long. Okay, in that kind of little bit of a bear trap. All right, so gold, as you can see on the hourly, kind of had a spike back and forth. Gold is basically sideways, right? Today's numbers actually. They will probably help gold a little bit. Again, employment numbers doesn't necessarily, flip over into inflation. But again, unemployment rate coming down. At this point, this probably is going to hurt gold. Here's why, right? With the unemployment rate coming back down, with hourly earnings going up, non-farm change being, again, less than before, but still at a good rate, is there a need for stimulus? Right? Gold was a bull because of all this stimulus, but if we're doing so good, will they continue to put stimulus in to help the economy? The answer is no. So this actually may be a bit bearish for gold. So again, I'd probably look for 1912 today as a target for gold to the downside. Unless they mention something about, stimulus is, this with stimulus is great, but at this point, Here's what's going to happen. With the economy coming back online, the other side of the aisle is going to say, hey, listen, if the economy gets back on pace by November, we're in trouble because we can't blame COVID on anybody anymore, right? Then they're going to have to say, well, we helped in this recovery because we gave stimulus to people and we helped bridge the gap. So that could be one reason they try to force through stimulus. But at this point, with this good, I don't know that Republicans or Trump are going to allow any stimulus to come in back into the market. So again, gold may be more of a short at this point. But again, 1912 is kind of what we're looking for here on the downside today. Silver is still not at $50. Everybody's claiming, all the way up here at 50. We ran into problems at up at 30, right? So yesterday we talked about getting back down to this 2633 level. All right. Now this is sitting here right at this 4-hour level. Okay. We have sort of bounced off of it. So, looking at silver, and again, we've drawn this pattern before where we punch out, we pull back and then go long. There is, there is this pattern, right? There is this pattern where it pulls down and then it punches higher, right? There is that pattern. Okay. Question is this going to have enough oomph today that it can actually do that? Okay. I don't know. I would say too, looking at like a 4-hour level here, I would say that I would be very, very cautious with anything that comes up into this price level. Again, 4-hour zone, but look at this. This was a nice base, a nice push down, a pullback and a retest. So there's kind of like a hidden level sitting in there. And again, on the hourly, we can't see it as much. It's a bit higher, but that's something I'm going to leave on there as far as a 4-hour basis goes. Now, we're flirting with this level. We talked about this level before. This has been something we've been watching. I'm going to shrink it a little bit so you can see it. This was the last area. And again, not that it didn't touch a few times, but it launched itself off the last time and then kind of retested that level. That's where they're at now. Now, we've had a short position that we've been looking to get into, right? Another, again, a Harry Potter break below, pullback, and continuation pattern through. Again, we drew the little, the little arrow over here to kind of explain what the pattern needs to look like, right? We explained it over here, what it needs to look like, probably on the 30-minute. Yeah, it's on the 30-minute. I was like, man, that's a really weird triangle. But yes, right here, right? That's been sitting here for a while. That's coming back into play again, right? We're up here in the 26.50 range, so we're about $1 away. And again, we've been grinding down. We have this level, but if we can clear this level, it gets us into this short over here. So again, getting very, very close to this short entry. And again, this was done off a prior level. We may be able to take this and actually run this right over here, right? Again, we always like to do a little bit of adjustment on things. We may be able to take, we may be able to take a little adjustment right off of that. And again, this happened in one, I forget which pair it was. It may have been one of the Euro pairs. Where we had one set up, but there was a new one formed based off the kind of the new kind of the closer levels. So like something along this line here, if we get a break below. Okay. And this would be in silver, something along those lines. Right there. Okay. So that could be what's in store for silver. Now, will we hit it today? I don't know if we'll be able to bust through this one today. This is probably going to be like a Sunday, Monday type trade, if anything. We'd have to see, again, weakness today. I expect it to come down and hit that lower, the 26, probably 30, 26, maybe 26, 20-ish range today. I don't think we'll have an issue with that. Big question is how far can we drive? And again, maybe when retail traders come online, we get the punch through, pull back, and then continuation. But I would say targets down at 25.33 are not out of the ordinary. And again, that coincides with the same type of levels we had over here. Again, it just gets us in a little bit sooner, gets us our 1 to 3, right? Just made $28 profit going short on gold. Yep, there you go. How many points of risk per contract do you typically use? Great question, Alls. Typically for me, when I'm setting up a currency position, I try to attempt to get, again, let me phrase this first. We are what I would consider right now in a trading market, not a swing market. So I know people love swing trading. Oh, I look at it like, 15 minutes and then I come back a week later. We're not in that type of market, right? Things are going straight up and then coming straight back the next day. So it's purely kind of a day trader's market right now. So for me, I'm using lower time frames to define my risk, typically about the 30-minute. And I'm typically, at least in currency trades, I'm attempting to get my risk typically between, I don't know, I'd say 8 and 18 pips worth of risk. Ideally, between 10 and 15 is where I'd like to get them. Between 8 and 12 for some of the less, for the less moving pairs. But typically between 10 and 18, I'd say, for some of the faster movers is where I'm looking to kind of risk. And again, I'm looking to get a 1 to 3, right? If I'm risking 10, I'd like to get at least 30 out of it. I do typically have a 1 to 5 target on there as well, right? Risking 10 to make 50. And depending on the trade, sometimes, time of day, levels it bounced off of. Sometimes they'll be held longer, but for the most part, I'm pretty much give me my 1 to 3 and I am out. I'll take my I'll take my stuff out, take my capital out of the markets. But great question. That's typically how much, how much dollar amount? That depends on the size of your account, right? If you have a $1,000 account and you have a $10,000 account, obviously the risk per contract is, a bit more dollar-wise, but the actual percentage of risk is going to be the exact same. Risking 1 to make 3 on every single position. And then again, use a position sizer. The position size will tell you if I'm risking, and again, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with position sizers, just do position size calculator. You can find a million free ones online. There's some that go to your phone for apps. Risk your 2% of your account, and that's how big your position is going to be based off of if I'm my one risk on this one, my 10 pips, 12 pips, 15 pips, 18 pips, whatever you're using, right? You can position size that to have that be the 2% of your account, which means one winner, you've made 6% return on that one trade in your account. Okay. All right, let's go across and look at oil. So this should be interesting. Let's go down and look at oil for the day. Crude oil, yes, it's up and it should be. Just slightly. Nope, I don't need, I'll stay with boring charts. All right, so this is what we got going on. All right, so we mentioned yesterday, if we can get up into that range, there'd probably be somewhat of a trade there that we'd like to get up there. We ended up punching higher. Okay, so we tried to scalp this right off of this, and we had punched higher, and I mentioned that yesterday, that there was a zone a bit higher. The upper one was the one that worked. Now, we are pushing down right now, and I will say, none of the numbers that we had right now justifies this being pushed down. It's probably in the same wheelhouse as what you were seeing in some of the dollar pairs, right? Everybody wants to get long these things, and that's why it's moving. So right now, again, we're going to remove this because we don't need that on the charts. I would say that, again, this zone right here, this is the old becomes new. You know, we were looking at it as a minor level, and that's what we punched and went higher. Let's delete this one, clear that a bit. Let's get that off. I wish I could. Can I move that more? Yeah, I don't need all that crap over there. Nope, nope, nope. All right, so let's see here. Let's punch this back. Do I want to use that level anymore? No, we're gonna remove that as a lower level right now. Let's take this one off. Let's get this gone. Let's get this gone. These were profit targets. Yeah, we're gonna leave that there. Actually, this one should go here. All right, so let's see what we got here. So I would say that, again, this is a timing play. We have an hour before it occurs. But I would say, see this level here where we've come down, we've based. Again, here's that pattern again. I'm going to keep drawing it for you guys until everybody gets it. I'm going to change the color of it to purple. No, I don't know. You guys can see purple. Fuchsia, not the best color. Yellow, can't see yellow on these. Black, yep, we can see black on this chart. Here's that pattern again, guys. Unfortunately, they're in the back. But do you recognize this pattern? Look, it was an old level. We hit, we punched, we went down, and then boom, off the same level. Okay. Right now, again, obviously right now you need to be short this position. I would say that coming back down here into the 40.93 is probably a good area. It's definitely a target that I could see. Again, it's only about, where do we at? 25 cents off right now. This could be good for a reversal. The numbers today all being green benefit oil because, again, that is more people working. That should be more demand out there. A lot of this, again, is probably the non-farm. Like, hey, listen, people want to go long oil today because, the economy is great again. Let's short this, right? So I would expect this one to kind of roll over as well. I don't know that it'll leave this range. I would say that it's probably going to get stuck here. Again, it's been pushed. There's a little level above it. I think we're probably going to get wedged in here either way. Take this one off now. I'll take those off now. Let's move this across. And we're going to look for that level right there for later. We don't need that one right now. Let's put this across. So yeah, I would say that this is probably, I don't know. I'd probably look for the same thing, right? A bounce off of it, a pullback, and a punch forward. Kind of a confirmation higher. I would say right now, I do think, again, 40.35 down to, what do we got? 40.15. I do think this will be an area based off the way these candles. I think we will probably bounce back and forth. I would say I do like oil more for a long. Again, this is kind of the middle of the range. But right now, I am drawing my range for oil pretty much from here to here. Whoops. From here to here is kind of where I see, no, not the outside. I went the inside. Probably in there is where I see oil ranging back and forth from at this point. Right? Again, we've seen a lot up top. That's where the big push is. Again, this bottom side here has been pretty rock solid in its touches. Again, this is grabbing levels in the middle, so it's kind of more of an intraday play. But, again, I think a bounce off here could be valid. Again, if it does not give us the green push, the red pullback, and then punch higher, again, if it just pushes right through, again, look for that same pattern down here, right? And that pattern would look like this. A punch higher, a punch lower, and then a punch higher this way. Probably into like that range. Okay. Look for something along those lines. All right. Almost the mini parabolic retracement. Yeah, you're going to see those things. All right. Let me see real quick. I'm curious to see. Silver hasn't collapsed yet. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Told you guys. What'd I tell you? Everybody that was getting long because of that good news where it got punched down, 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 down. Look at this. We're almost at our 1 to 5 already on dollar CAD. Right? And again, I don't see it stopping before this level up top. Again, I think, this level over here, the yellow level, again, whoops. Oh, I didn't want to mess that up. The 31.34, I think is where we'll stop. Like I said, I don't think we'll have any problems hitting this 1 to 5 today. Okay. And again, we shouldn't. There's no reason why it shouldn't. But again, standard trap, guys. Very, very easy learning, opportunity today. Again, everything was great for the dollar. right? Everything was crappy for the CAD. My 2-year-old will draw an up arrow, right? But why the heck did it go down for that news? Again, everybody and their brother could see and knew what those news was, so they're reacting to it. They're buying it, right? Instead of waiting for the pullback to go long, they're trying to, I clicked that button super fast. I got into it, and it went straight down. And what did it do? It grabbed the level and then right off to the top. Look at that. We're almost at 1 to 5 right now. All right, so with that being said, guys, it is 9:02. I'm going to get out here and refill coffee. You guys know that I go through my coffee during this time frame. Hopefully, you guys are able to grab this one. This would have been you already got 20 pip. You're already at 36 pip. You're gonna grab 40 out of this one total, so it's almost there. But go ahead, let's get into the drawing for the day today. We got 8 people in already. Remember, everybody has the ability to get 1 ticket for free. If you've been on for 35 seconds, again, you can get 1 ticket for free. Go ahead and hit exclamation point ticket, no space. Eki, I don't know how to say it. Is it Eki or Eki? I'm just going to call you 777. Trey 7. Double sevens or triple sevens. You won yesterday, so if you win today, you get 100 pip chips. It'll be a nice little kind of push for you. Bay Street has gotten a win this week. I think Ernest, you got one, but then didn't show the next day. Debbie, she tried to buy it and she got robbed by one of those one ticketers. Marina's in. Who else are we missing here? Will's in for one. Will hasn't won for a while too either. It's been a while for Will. So I'll give you guys about another 30 seconds. We'll see this one go through. Anybody got any cool plans this weekend? Being a holiday weekend. Speaking of holiday weekends, guys, because it is a holiday weekend, the Sunday newsletter this week won't come out until I'll do all the levels, but I'm not going to do the Sunday night gaps. The Sunday night gaps won't kick in probably until, I don't know. If there's any really good ones, I'll post them. But for the most part, obviously the dollar-based ones aren't going to necessarily matter much because there won't be dollar traders in on Monday, being a holiday weekend. And the market should be slow anyway. But, I'll have the levels up there. I'll have the curve up there. I'll have the news up there. I'll basically have everything but the Sunday night gap levels up there. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I do a weekly newsletter that comes out on Sundays. It gives like the highest quality levels for the week. Both top side and bottom side. Last week, I think there was like 400 plus pips off of them. It was a good week as far as those levels hitting. Again, the biggest news releases for parabolic retracement trades. And then we have a Sunday night gap strategy that I don't teach in any classes. I talk about it on the channel and it's inside of the newsletter basically. All right. And it's $10 a month. It's like super cheap, like $2.50 a week, less than a coffee. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawer here, the winner of the drawing. And let's see if 777s does it again. No, it's Marina. And she only had 1 ticket. Look at that. Look at that. Marina, it's been a while. I think it's been like 2 weeks since you've won. So, Marina, it's congratulations. Like I said, it has been a little while. I feel like Debbie has dominated from the female side lately, right? Debbie has been like, I'm taking the crown. I'm telling you, the girls just, it's crazy. The girls just dominate this thing. All right, I'm going to mark that one as complete. Let's see, where is she? Let's see where our girl is here. She's pretty close there. Let's give her extra 25 for the day today. She's creeping back up again. And again, she used some mentoring, right? She used some mentoring. Actually, both the women, right? Debbie was in the second place. She used some mentoring this week. And Debbie's funny, guys. I'm gonna kind of pick on Debbie a little bit right now. I'm gonna pick on Debbie because, like, yes, the mentor sessions are 30 minutes, but Debbie asked just enough questions so it's 30 minutes. I'm like, what else you got, Debbie? I'll give you more time. She's like, no, that's it. All my questions are answered. I'm good. Gotta go. It's just so funny. Everyone's like, yeah, I mean, what about this? What about this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll typically, when I always push it for people. And again, Debbie knows that I love her, and that's why I'm giving her a hard time now. But again, guys, I'm pretty liberal on these things. Again, use your pip chips. Will's had one forever, but Will travels nonstop. He still has a mentor session that he used pip chips for and just hasn't used it because, again, he travels so much. I think he's canceled 1 or 2 on me. So besides Will, everybody else is pretty good. But again, use those pip chips up. You guys got plenty of them. All right. With that said, guys, I'm out of here. Look at this. It keeps flirting with it. It's like, you told me it was going to definitely hit 1 to 5. It's messing with me, but it'll probably go, it'll probably hit there. So, if you let me cash in these 12 times channel points for pip chips, I would love to do a mentoring session. Neuro, you're probably not far. I don't know where you're at on the list. Where are you at, Neuro? I mean, I feel like you can't be that far, right? Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to check real quick and see where you're at. I just don't feel like you're that far off. Leaderboard. You know what, Nero? I think you spend them I think you spend them fast. Yeah, I think Nero, you use all yours on chips. You're at 104 right now, so you got a little bit of ways to go, and a lot of that is because again you buy 2 and 3 tickets, so you're using your pip chips to buy more tickets, and then you're not winning, dude. Then see you're. We actually had somebody a while ago that came out that was just all over the place. He spent like 200 pip chips just to win, and I'm like, you realize that you used up 200 pip chips to get 25 in return for a win. I'm like, that's not a good use of pip chips. Your money management skills need a little bit of work. And we haven't seen that guy around for a while. But yeah. All right, guys. So with that said, I'm going to get some coffee. I'm out of here. Good luck at the Open. Again, I expect there to be, again, we got a couple of these trades that look like they could definitely go up today. But again, we need to get through a couple of those key levels. And again, that Dow level is sitting right here. We really need to break above the 28.58, 593 area. And then again, same pattern, same draw. Again, you guys do it. I'm not going to draw it again, right? This type of pattern. Again, same type of draws off this level. All right. So guys, I'm out of here. You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. And again, don't be dumb if you guys go out this weekend. Use masks if you're in a group setting. Don't be the next statistic. All right. Too many stories of people going out being dumb and like, yep, it's my own fault. Let's get past this thing. So be safe, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow or on Monday. Actually, maybe on Monday. Maybe I'll do Monday. We'll see. Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. Take care.